Hi everyone, I'm Evangeline right here at eTrailer. Today I'm going to show you how to install these Titan chain roller snow tire chains here on our 2018 Ford F-350 Super Duty. Now specifically, the one with the tire size 275/65 R20. There are a bunch of different tire sizes for the F-350, so double check yours to make sure you get the right one, because we have a fit guide here at eTrailer that helps you get the right tire chain for the right tire. Now, if you check the owner's manual for the F-350, it usually recommends that you use Class S chains, which means the smaller chains that take up less space on your tire. They say that just because there could potentially be components in the back of the tire. Now, if you do need tire chains, it's usually because it's some extreme weather like snow and ice, and you may or may not need some pretty aggressive tire chains. So double check that clearance behind your tire and your truck to make sure you get a tire chain that's appropriate. Because the ones right here are extremely Class S compatible, meaning they're very small. You have these rollers instead of your large chains. And usually when people think of Class S chains, they think of cable chains or roller chains. So these are usually the chains that your dealer may recommend if you're looking for snow tire chains. Now, these will work, and we do have some videos here at eTrailer showing these up against some other types of tire chains. And to install them, if you know the trick, it is pretty simple as well. I do recommend grabbing some tensioners though to make sure everything's secure. So, to install them, what I do is I just lay out the tire chains. I recommend you doing this the first thing when they arrive in the mail and making sure everything looks good. Nothing's twisted around, nothing's tangled. It looks good over here. You also want to make sure you're looking at the hook. Now the hook is not as obvious here on these tire chains. It's going to be this part right over here. There's going to be a hook, and then there's going to be a flat part. You want the flat part on the tire and the hook facing away the tire. In our case, it's facing up. You're then going to go in front of your tire and just grab your tire chain and hoist it up and over. So right there, you want it pretty evenly distributed. And then you're then going to go behind the tire and make your first connection. So to demonstrate what that connection would look like, you're going to get your chain, you're going to fit it through the hoop, and it's going to secure in the tabs. Now, in the back, there may be a little bit of crawling behind your tire involved, so bear with me here. You get that, you bring it in. I've found to go around 4 tabs, sometimes even 5 works pretty well on our tire chain here. And if there's any excess chain, you just secure it with that excess keeper, just like that. We're going to repeat that process up in the front. So we come back to the front, we get our chain, we fit that on through. This time we're going to get as tight as we can get it. In my case, right before that last tab. And again, securing that excess chain. So here, technically, you would be done with installing your tire chain. This fits over the sidewall. It fits enough over that I'm not really concerned about it falling off. However, I personally think there's a lot of tension or lack of tension still in those chains. So what I do is I add my own rubber tensioner. This is available here at eTrailer, bunch of different sizes, bunch of different designs. The concept here is that you go in a star shape, and this just secures the chains. And since it is made of rubber, as you drive around, this is going to pull and adjust on the chains to always have tension no matter what. So I recommend doing this process on the other side, attaching your tensioner, and then looking at your tire chains as you roll forward or back to make sure that even if things have moved around, you're still able to adjust that tension the exact same way I showed you with installing the tire chain. So just like that, you can see how low profile these chains are. We install them on our rear tires, which I like to do on the trucks just because that's where the drive is. But you can double check your owner's manual and see what they recommend for your driving style. Something I also talk about is this does have a bag included with the chains where you put the two chains on top of each other and then you roll them into the bag. This bag does tend to get torn up pretty quickly since it's hard to stuff things back into where you got them. But if that's the case for you, since this has hook and loop and some zippers, you should have some pretty good luck. I recommend drying out your chains when possible before packing them up and away. Some people get a large tote, fill that with lubricant, and that's where they keep their chains so that they don't rust, and then you can use them into the next season. What happens pretty often though is that these are emergency chains. You'll have this bag in your cab or in your truck bed in case you need it, and in case you need that extra traction, or in case you're going through an area that requires that you own tire chains. Since these are pretty affordable and pretty easy to put on, it is something that could be helpful for emergency situations. Just take a look at some tensioners for your truck. So today you saw the Titan chain roller chains here on our 2018 Ford F-350.